Knowledge for the people at
Free Mumia.
Channel Live. KRS-One coming to represent wisdom.
Free Mumia.
Everywhere I look, there's another house Negro talking about their people and how they should be equal. They're talking, but the conversation ain't going nowhere.
Move's founder, John Africa, teaches that when you're committed to doing that which is right, the power of righteousness will never betray you. That is your standard by which you do all that you do. You say, is it right? And if it's right, you go forward, no matter what the opposition, no matter what walls stand before you. That has been my personal motivating force. I think that some young people are touched by the revelation that when I was their age, when I was 14, 15, 16, I was involved in a movement that they now know no longer exists. And I know that not just based on what I read or what I felt or what others have reported to me. I know that intimately, personally, because I've met young guys coming to death row, and I mean about as apolitical as a lemon, come up to me and say, hey, old head. I'm like, damn, who they talking to? Yeah. Hey, Grandpa, my grandmama told me about Black Panthers. What's up with that? You know, and I've met people whose parents were in the Black Panther Party, and they tried to talk to their children when they were out on the street, but they didn't listen. Now they come here, they're on death row, and they're finding out about it. I give them a book or talk to them, or, you know what I mean, send them some information. And I think that same thing happens because right now, not just in Africa, America, but in America, period, the young people in America are in an extreme state of alienation. They are, for all intents and purposes, the enemy of the state. They don't see any future for them other than working for McDonald's, flipping burgers, working at the video store. I mean, come on. There is no promise for them. So in the face of that alienation, you see, they look back and they see the history of a party like the Black Panther Party. And they're attracted to that militant standard and example because they don't see it presently. They can see ex-Panthers. Some of them, they can't see Geronimo because he's been in that hellhole in California for so many years. They can't see Dr. Mutulu Shakur because he's been in that hellhole in California for so many years. But more importantly, they don't see that continuing reality. And they do not hear a voice that speaks truth to power, that talks about their oppressed, repressed, dogged reality. And I try to do that in some ways. And I think that because they hear from this old man, someone who speaks the truth about what they're looking at, they hear, they respond, and they come. And they know, based on their reality right there, they know it ain't easy for them, and they know it ain't easy for me. But they know it's right. You see? And although when they hear about this 14, 15-year-old kid who's a Black Panther, and that opens the door to the MOVE organization, and they find out the kind of unholy repression that has been visited on the MOVE organization. August 8th confrontation, the May 13th mass murder and massacre. Well, they found out something that they didn't read about in their history books, that they didn't learn in so-called Black study class. And they find a new reality about what it means to be an African American in America, speaking one's truth to power. You see, they don't hear it from their politicians because their politicians is too busy trying to sound like the next conservative next door. You see, you have, in this country, in this culture, we have elected Black people into positions of prominence and power. But those black people don't exercise any power, not to the interest of those people. You know, they know that they may have a black mayor in their city, but that don't stop the policemen from kicking them in their ass, from beating them down. You know, I just read recently the Amsterdam News about your city, New York. The police stopping kids, 14, 15, 16, and putting them in a lineup. At first they offer them 15, 20. Hey kid, you want some money? If the kid says no, well, come on anyway. What's this, New Age slavery? You can put a child in a lineup, and if this kid gets picked, his whole life is transformed in a moment. Does he have a choice? Is he a free being? And they know in their heart of hearts, if they don't have the freedom to walk down the street, well, damn it, what kind of freedom do they have? And all they hear in class is about, oh, Martin Luther King, he fought and he died for us, and he's a great leader. And they say, I ain't trying to hear that shit. You know? So, they're, you know, ultimately because we failed, because we did not prevail, their life is so dire and so bitter today, you know? Had we prevailed, their life would have been a better life today. Their life would not be as hellish as it is today. So, to take another question that you posed about where does this movement go from here, God knows. You know, I'm fighting every day, not just for my freedom, not just for my liberation, but for all of our liberation. Unabashedly, I fight for revolution because I think revolution is the only solution. I'm not shy about using that word. Am I conscious about what I say? I am more conscious about what I say. I can't help but be. I'd be faking it. I say, oh no, I say the same. No, I think about it. Because I don't want a young person or even an old person to be misled, you know, because it's dangerous out there. But I know this, that in the old days, you know, Dr. Huey Newton said, the spirit of the people is more powerful than the man's technology. And when people recognize their power, the power to say no, the power to say enough, the power to say, well, damn it, let's get together and change this thing, then anything is possible. You know, if that message gets out there to kids, to young adults thinking about their tomorrow, then it don't matter what they do to me, they ain't stopping me. Because revolution is my religion.